We want to know what happened to Jennifer.
Jennifer Hillier-Penney disappeared in 2016, last seen in the home of her estranged husband. Her friends and family believe she was abducted and murdered.
What happened to her? What happened the night that Jennifer went missing?
Reporter Mark Kelley started investigating, but the Crown went to court and got a publication ban, restricting what he could say in his story.
We're prevented from saying the RCMP has identified anyone as being involved in the disappearance.
So how do you tell a story about what you've learned while trying not to break the law?
So while we can't say whether the RCMP has any suspects, we can go into detail about their investigation.
And the Fifth Estate did look at who some suspect.
What everyone wants to know is, did you do it?
Mark Kelley is a host of the Fifth Estate.
So lots to talk about here, and in our work for reporters generally, you come up against things in the legal system that restrict what we can say for all kinds of reasons. But this one's unique, so let's get into that. You're looking into this story for months. You're in the process of gathering the information, and then this court ban comes. So tell us what happened. Well,
it really sort of threw us for a loop because we had been called up to Newfoundland by the family that wanted us to look into this story for the fundamental reasons that they believe Jennifer Hillier-Penney was murdered. They believe a murderer is walking free, and they believe that the RCMP botched this investigation from the get-go. It's been almost 2 years since she disappeared, and they wanted the Fifth Estate to look into this and shed some light on that investigation. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. We think that the RCMP as a public institution should be held accountable. So did they botch the investigation? Was there evidence that that was somehow mishandled, and were there leads that weren't followed up on? We want to do this, and then we are told that the Crown is going to the Supreme Court of Newfoundland to get a publication ban to limit what we can say about any possible suspects. But think about this. This is exactly what the family wanted to know. Are there any suspects in this case? And if so, who are they? We're talking about a community, St. Anthony, Newfoundland, of 2,000 people. People there are on edge, thinking that there could be somebody responsible for her disappearance, perhaps even her murder, that's walking free in that community. So we want to shed light to that, and the court's telling us we can't.
And so they don't have the answer that they were seeking. But beyond that, it's not uncommon, if there are charges laid in a case, for there to be a publication ban that restricts what we can say. No one's been charged. This isn't even really, in terms of the courts, a case yet.
Yeah, and this is what was unique really about this, is publication bans are common when there are court cases underway, limiting the information that can be made public. Often you'll hear at the end of a trial, then this information is released to the public. But in this case, you're right. There have been no charges, there have been no arrests, and no suspects even named in this case, and yet the court goes so far as to impose this publication ban on us to say whether the RCMP considers anyone to be a possible suspect in this case. So this is what we had to work around, and you can imagine we're going to air on the Sunday night. This publication ban is imposed on a Friday afternoon, so it was a bit of a delicate balancing act for us to broadcast our program and stay within the law.
And these scripts, frankly, they're always difficult to write because you've got to stay in the line with what you know, what you can say, what you can't. And there may be people watching and going, okay, well, that's your job, right? Your job is to figure out how to write these things. So why should the public care about this fairly unique circumstance of this ban? Because
when the Crown is seeking a publication ban like this, what they have to prove here is that somehow, if we are to name names in this, to say that the RCMP believes that Mrs. or Mr. so-and-so is a suspect in this case, this is going to somehow compromise the integrity of this investigation. This is what they're claiming. But the point is, they never proved that. There was no proof whatsoever that if we had named anyone being related to this, that the RCMP felt someone was related to this case, that could compromise this investigation. So I think it really shows a profound mistrust of the media, saying that somehow we're going to be reckless with the facts or reckless with the information here. But also, I think, is an important fact here, it's about the freedom of expression. Okay, the freedom of expression means we are allowed to say, within the law, certain things. But the freedom of expression is a two-way street. It also means the public is allowed to listen to what we say. Right. So they're not only muzzling us from saying what we want to say, but they're muzzling the public from hearing what we think is important, vital information that's in the public's interest.
It'll be very interesting to see where this story goes next. Thanks for talking about it.
Thanks, Diana.